Okay, guys. So you guys have been doing an awesome job trying to become experts at extreme weather. I'm really impressed by what I've seen lately. You guys are using the text strategies that we've learned, using your nonfiction books, creating your own notes, creating your own ideas, sharing your information together. So I'm really impressed with how we're becoming experts at nonfiction and with extreme weather in the past couple days. But there's one more thing we really need to learn and figure out in order to really become experts. And that is, we need to learn how to tackle big words. Because nonfiction, you guys know from reading nonfiction is full of big words. Sometimes they're scientific words. They can be filled with all kinds of difficult words that we have to have a strategy for tackling, okay? So to really become experts, we got to figure out what these big words mean, all right? So today I want to teach you guys that researchers read and write about and discuss different texts to become experts, okay? One way they do this is by jotting down, looking up and rereading the context to find the meaning of unknown words. Okay? So this is what we're going to figure out. And let me show you guys what I mean. I'm going to model for you. And I'm doing my research on extreme weather, just the weather in general. And I have my resource that I've been using to work with you guys. So if I'm looking through this and I'm reading and I'm looking for information and I'm using my text features and I come across a section that's about air pressure, and I know air and air temperature and pressure has a lot to do with storms. And so I want to say something about this. I know this is important. So listen to what I read. Okay? Life under pressure. Feel that here on Earth, the air presses against us with a force of about 15 pounds per square inch. You can't really feel atmospheric pressure, but it does play a role in weather prediction. Weather takes place in the region of atmosphere closest to the Earth's surface called the troposphere. So I'm thinking troposphere. That's like a really big word that I need to figure out. What does troposphere mean? To be an expert at weather, I need to know what this word means, and I want to talk about this. So let me read it to you again. I'm going to go back and reread now. And I want you guys, this is what I'm looking at here to see. Weather takes place in the region of the atmosphere closest to Earth's surface called the troposphere. Okay, that is where the air pressure is highest. Okay, so how I'm going to do this is we got a series of steps we're going to use to figure out the meaning of unknown words. Okay, you guys hold up your fingers when I go through the steps. So the first thing we do, number one, okay, as we look for word parts, we study prefixes, roots. Sometimes we know word parts. We might not always be able to use this, but this is the first thing we should think about. Do I know a part of the word? Second, use context clues. Okay, use context clues. So that is the words around the word. Okay. 3, text features such as glossaries. After we make a guess based on the words around it, we're going to go and see if we can find some more information using the text features such as glossaries to help us figure it out. Maybe we don't have a glossary. We would then have to we would have to look it up using dictionary or an online resource. So those are our 4 steps we're going to go through. And when we go through those 4 steps, we're going to use this stem. I think blank means blank because. And this stem is in our packet for our glossary section. Okay? And so, looking at this again, weather takes place in the region closest to the Earth's surface, called the troposphere. That is where the air pressure is highest. So if I think, first, word parts. Do I know a part of this word, troposphere? Well, sphere, I think I know what sphere means. Sphere is round. Actually, like this, like a sphere. Okay? It's always sitting back here. It's the first time I've used it. A sphere is round, so it has to be, and I know this is about air, so it has to be something where the air is maybe around the Earth in a sphere. Okay? So that's what I'm thinking so far, just using word parts. Now I'm going to use context clues. So context, what can I get from the words around it? Well, it says the region closest to the Earth's surface, and that's where the air pressure is highest. So if I know it's a sphere, that must mean it's like the air that surrounds the Earth that's closest to the ground. So that's what I'm thinking from context. And now that I have that, I'm going to see if I have a glossary, and I'm pretty sure I do in here. And I'm going to see if I can find this in the glossary and see if that adds to my understanding. And so in the glossary it says, well, it says the troposphere is the lowest layer of the atmosphere. So that must mean that all the air that surrounds the Earth is like the atmosphere, and it must have different layers. So like the troposphere must be the layer of the air that's closest to the Earth, but it's part of the atmosphere. Okay? So now I'm going to use my sentence stem, and I'm going to jot what I think the meaning is. And so I think troposphere. No, you guys don't have to write this. I'm going to write this, and you guys are going to help me. We're going to try the next one. But I want to show you how I do this. I think the troposphere means the layer of air closest to the ground that surrounds the Earth, because I know a sphere is round like the Earth, and it is part of the atmosphere. Okay? So I used a couple different things, and this is my entry. I think the troposphere means a layer of air closest to the ground that surrounds the Earth, because I know a sphere is round like the Earth and it is part of the atmosphere. Okay? So I used several different clues from how we find out how we figure out meanings of unknown words. Okay? So now you guys, I think you guys are ready to try this. Do you think you guys are ready to try? Show me thumbs up if you think you're ready. If you think you can go through this process. Okay, maybe. Okay, maybe. Most of us are ready. Some of us are maybe a little bit unsure. Okay. So you guys are going to help me pretend that this is your research topic just for this example, just for this practice. And I'm going to read. I'm going to pretend we're looking for information. We're using our strategies and are looking for text features, and I want to know, I want to say something about how water vapor plays a part in precipitation, because I know water vapor is very important to how storms come about. So if I'm reading this part on water vapor, listen as I read. As water vapor cools in the air, it condenses. This means that it changes back into liquid form. You will notice that the same kind of thing happens if you pour a cold glass of water on a hot day. So, the sentence, the part I want you guys to focus on is, as water vapor cools in the air, it condenses. This means it changes back into liquid form. I want you guys on your Post-it notes to try and use word parts or context clues to come up with an initial response, what you think this word might mean. Okay? And then I'm going to read you out of the glossary to see if you can make your definition stronger. But we're going to try the first two steps first. Yes, Alondra?
Do we have to write it on the stem?
Yeah, you can use the stem. Okay, so I want you guys to try and do this now. Okay.
What's the question?
So I want you guys to try and come up with the meaning of condenses using our strategies to find the meanings of unknown words. Okay? Okay, now I want you guys to turn to a partner and see if you guys can help your partner, share your ideas with your partner of what you think your initial understanding is based on our context. Okay, turn and talk to your partner. I want you to guess and see what you think it is. I want you to tell me, what do you think it is? Okay, and 3, 2, 1, let's come back together. Who thinks they can give us an initial understanding of what we think it is before we go to the glossary where we try to look it up? Christina?
I think condenses means before the back because it says as water vapor cools in the air, it condenses.
Okay, good. Andrea?
I think condenses means changing because as the water vapor cools in the air, if you change condenses, you can put it with changes.
Good. Okay, now I'm going to read the glossary entry to you guys, and I want you to think about the glossary's meaning and think about the meaning you came up with, and see if it makes sense, and also see if you can add to your meaning after I read the glossary entry. So in the glossary it says that condenses means to change from a gas or a vapor to a liquid. Okay? So now I want you to think about your definition again and see if you want to revise your definition and make it stronger or change it at all based on what we learned from the glossary. Okay, I'll read it again. Condense, to change from a gas or vapor to a liquid. So go ahead and take a minute and see if you can. I want you to redo the definition. Okay, I want you guys to now turn and talk to your neighbor and try to explain this word condenses again after we've revised our definitions. What did you say? What did you come up with? Okay, guys, and 3, 2, 1, and we're back. Who thinks they want to share out a revised definition that We really are an expert now on what condenses means. Lucas.
I think it means that like it changes in a lifetime, because he said it forms, it changes, and then it forms back to liquid.
Okay, yeah. Lucas is pointing out something very important, that there's a change taking place and it's forming back into liquid. Just like on the bottles when we see those beads of water form, that's gas forming back into a liquid. And exactly, Lucas, that's what we need to know when we're talking about the word condenses. Yes, Max?
I think condense means like gas into water. That's probably why it rains or it causes thunderstorms.
Exactly, and that's exactly why it causes thunderstorms. I like how Max was connecting this to a larger understanding, a bigger idea. And that's the whole reason we want to understand bigger words, is to connect them back to our big ideas when we really want to become experts on a topic. So, you guys can use this today, you can use it every day, this strategy when you're dealing with nonfiction, even fiction you can use this strategy. But today when we go and we do our research and we're looking through our nonfiction books, we need to add some glossary entries. That's one thing we need to work on, because I know we've been coming up with main ideas, but we don't have a lot of glossary entries from what I've seen. So today when we go to nonfiction, I want you guys to practice tackling some big words using the strategy we've learned today. Do you guys feel like you're ready to do this?
Yeah.
Can you show me a thumbs up if you guys are ready?
Yeah.
Okay, when we transition back, slowly I want you to place your sticky notes on the board for me so I can check them out. Let's get to work.
Do we put our name on it?
Yeah.